Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Bet Sunday Morning Show right here on YouTube on the Hardcore Sports Network, the NFL Sunday Morning Show. I'm here with my guys, Nikki C's and James from the Steelers by the Lake podcast. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good this morning. How about you, Mitch?
I'm doing good. I'm eating a pancake right now. I can't complain. Yeah, I really can't complain. But you know what? Let's just get this started, shall we? Nikki, let's start off with you for the usual winners of last week.
All right, so winners of last week. I'll have to
And
go.
as I'm eating my
Where am I
pancake.
going to go? We'll go with teams or players in this one. I'm going to go with teams. We'll start with the Jets. They made a statement when dominating the New England Patriots, who seemed like they seemed like they were going to be a competitive team who we thought might give them some problems, but the Jets went out there and made their claim as a contender in the AFC with that dominating win over the Patriots. And now they're going into this one as a favorite against the Broncos to likely do the same again. So I gave the Jets credit. You know, we all know they have a talented defense and an excellent 22 draft class. Now they finally got a quarterback, and we see the results. And then another winner here, we're going to move on. Also, go with the Steelers because, hey, they still find ways to win. And they
My boy, Nick.
Chargers in a game. We weren't sure what they were going to do, and now you're in a situation where you're 3-0. Now you're going to a favorable matchup against the Colts. You could be 4-0 if you're the Steelers. So it could be things are looking up in their direction. They still got one of the greatest head coaches of all time, at least a top 15. I mean, top 10's debatable, but definitely a top 15 of all time in Mike Tomlin. You got yourselves a hell of a defense, and if they could just get a few more wide receivers, if Justin Fields could actually work on his throwing mechanics, then they could actually really, truly be contenders. And the last winner for last week, I'm going to have to go with the Minnesota Vikings, dude. They made a statement win against the Houston Texans. Now, to be fair, though, the Texans were missing a few key pieces. But still, the way they dominated that game, even with C.J. Stroud being fully healthy, the Vikings cemented their place as a dark horse contender in the NFC. It's just they didn't let the Texans offense get rolling at all. They didn't let C.J. Stroud get in a rhythm. They made him look kind of like Bryce Young for a week. But hey, man, shout out to the Vikings. They're doing big things even without a true long-term starting quarterback. So I got to give them props on that one. So my three winners.
All right. How's it going, Bo?
And to recap for Bo, my three winners were the Jets, Vikings, and Steelers.
Yeah, no, I liked that you opened up with the Steelers could be great if they had an offense.
All right, then take it away, Bo. Take it away. As I'm still eating my pancake.
You know, I do agree with that a little bit, though. I mean, the defense has been phenomenal for the Steelers. So if there's a winner, that's one of them. I do like what we're seeing out of the Vikings, and then the Bills may be the most complete team
going on.
You know, the Bills aren't the best at anything, but they're probably the most complete team. And obviously, they just went out and destroyed the Jags. But I mean, they're playing so much better than I really thought they were going to. So that's definitely one of my winners so far.
All right, sounds good. Leader, how's it going, man? How's it going? First Sunday morning show here on the network.
Good to be with the guys, all the NFL. You know what I mean? It's just real good to be here, man. Just up, man. Ready for football, man. Ready for football.
Yes, sir. If you guys did not know, Leader's been a part of the network for like a little bit now. He's a part of Cool Cat show, Broad Street Blitz Take, and he has this new show coming up starting on Monday. I cannot wait for that. That's going to be exciting. So, Leader, this is on the bottom right. That is James from Steelers by the Lake podcast. Below me is Football Talk with Bo and another Eagles fan, Nikki Stees, who's been with the network since basically we started.
What's going on, y'all?
What's good? What's good? So, James, I'm going to go with you, bro. Who are your winners of this week?
First winner, you for eating pancakes this morning, Mitch. But I need to know
Thank you.
what kind of
Yeah.
pancakes, because I made blueberry pancakes this morning. I need to know what you're rocking. Is it regular?
It's just it's just a regular pancake, but I needed butter. But Nikki took all my butter with the Steelers, so I need.
Oh.
All right, man.
Well
all right.
done. All right, so
who you-
my second winner is going to be Andy Dalton. What a game for him, huh? Really gets a chance to prove that it isn't just a fluke against his old teammates going against the Bengals this week. So we'll see if he can do it 2 weeks in a row or not. But an enormous performance from Andy to show that the Panthers maybe aren't as bad as we all thought they were. Another team that is maybe not as bad as we thought, the Giants. Got to give them credit for showing up and beating the Browns. Not that I think that highly of the Browns, but they really did kind of stomp them for about 3/4 of this game. Other than fumbling the opening kickoff, the Browns didn't do anything until the very end of the game. So a nice bounce back for them to show that they're not giving up on the season. And then I do have to give credit to my Steelers because I picked against them last week. I thought for sure the Chargers were going to take them, and I'll take that L by taking the victory in the Steelers. So,
I love that.
yeah, nice to see the defensive players really taking over in that game. They allowed -5 yards in the second half of that game. Now, a lot of that Justin Herbert was out due to injury, but still it takes quite the performance to pull that off. And some of the backups even showing some real nice resilience with Nick Herbig putting up a monster game. So you're looking forward to seeing what they can do in future weeks here too.
All right. Leader, who are your winners of last week, bro? Team or player? Pick.
Well, the first thing I gotta say is
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert was pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas Goedert to me was like right there on time. He was so on time. The winners, well, you got to go. Listen, you got to give. Now, I'm definitely not a Cowboy fan, but it's be football. They neck was on the line. They neck was on the line to get this New York Giant win. Because I was going to call them to help. I was like, they are a whole big cluster of mess right now.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, like winners, I'm gonna have to give Minnesota the next one because I didn't expect Minnesota and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has reshaped his career, man. He's reshaped his career. Sam Darnold came out with the top prospect in the draft. He was like the next talent, and then you forgot about him. You just forgot about him. That's why I say the Bryce Young thing needs to be a little bit calmed down because he can be okay. He's still young. You know, back in the day, you had to chill out. You had to be a couple of years before people thought you was ready. You could even be in the backup position like Jordan Love was. But they rush you now. They put the pressure on you. So I think Sam Darnold is in Minnesota. Minnesota is the most surprise to me out of any teams. And then if I have to give one last pick, I'm gonna have to say Buffalo because they are the best. Like I'm surprised. I'm totally surprised. No Stephon Diggs, who's to me the running back is not like nobody without Josh Allen. Where's the name at?
Yep.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's a good coaching job. You got to start. It's a good coaching job.
All right. So for me, I got to say the Eagles, man. We got a dub. Devontae Smith went out. Dirty hit. Darius Slay went out. Dirty hit. I mean, the Saints are a dirty team, bro. They're a dirty team. So the Eagles got the dub there. That is one of mine. Second one, I'm going to take our Cougs one, Broncos. Bo Nix had an incredible game. So I'm going to go with Bo Nix there.
Yes,
And
you did.
three, I'm going to go with the Vikings, man. I'm going to go with the Vikings. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson. He's doing great without really a quarterback. But, hey, you got to give credit where credit is due. So now this is for my favorite part of the show. Losers of last week. So who looked bad? Who was terrible? Let's start off with James on this one.
Well, you're never going to guess where I'm going to go straight out of the gate on this one, fellas. It's going to be the Cleveland Browns because what we saw from the Giants, I mean, we had a debate just, was it last week or the week before? are the Giants the worst team in the league, or are the Panthers the worst team in the league? Both of them come away with a win this last week, and the Browns just put up an absolutely pitiful performance with a roster that should be putting up 30 points a week as far as that wide receiver core and what Deshaun Watson is supposed to be and what that offensive line is supposed to be, but doesn't look like at all anymore. I beg of people to actually know the difference between a good run blocking offensive line and a good pass blocking offensive line, because they've been a crappy pass blocking offensive line for years, just a dominant run blocking line. Nobody wants to hear it. Well, now it's really showing its ugly head. So that's a real problem for the Browns. They're in a downward spiral right now. The Bengals got to figure this out, man. 0-3. The offense looks like it's coming together. The defense looks like a doormat. So you can't even slow people down. The Commanders putting up 38 points on you. You really need to be concerned about your defense if that's what's happening to you right there. So real concern about both of those rivals. I mean, I'm not concerned about them. I'm happy to see their struggles. But I'd have to put both of them in the losers category for week 1 here.
All right, let's go with Bo next.
Yeah, so, losers this week is Bryce Young, right?
Yep.
That's a no-brainer because you definitely got fired on your day off, right? Like you get benched and then Dalton comes out and makes your team look competent. That makes it a pretty low scenario of you coming back and starting. And then it's got to be the Jags. Like they are bad in every facet of the game. I feel like you could probably do one of those, Family Feud, ask 100 people at the mall. But in this case, you're just asking them to play football, and I think they'd have a better squad than what we've seen out of this Jags team so far. So they got to figure that out. At least they spent a lot on a quarterback. And then the Bengals are kind of in a similar situation where they don't play defense at all. So as long as they can outrun you, they're going to win games. Otherwise, they're going to lose a lot because if you touch the ball, you score.
Pretty much. Let's go with leader on this one, man. Who are your losers the last week?
To be honest with you, it's a couple of guys. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. Now, y'all might think it's crazy, but I'm gonna say the Cowboys again. The winners and losers, right? How you get both of them? Well, the Cowboys they don't look like a football team. They do not look like a football. I just don't know what to say. Like, okay, you're supposed to be better than the Giants. 5 points? Like 5, it was a struggle. If anybody watched that game, it don't even look like the Cowboys know what to do with their offense. I'm gonna have to say the Bears.
Yep.
I have to go with the Bears because I feel like this team had a lot of hype behind it. It's a lot of hype behind it. Caleb Williams doesn't look like the number 1 pick, and it might be the coaching's fault because, like I said about those young quarterbacks, man, they need development. And C.J. Stroud had DeMeco Ryans. And, I don't know if you need more or not, but another team that got demolished was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're not supposed to look like this after giving Trevor Lawrence a contract like that. They're not supposed to be 0-3. I'm not even accepting. Like, that's crazy. That's something's wrong in that essence too. And I don't know if I should give the Dolphins. And so I'm not going to do. I don't know. Maybe the Tua thing is bigger than we think it is. But the Texans. I'm gonna go with the Texans. Because the Vikings are not okay. All right, I just gave them the credit, right? But Jesus,
I was going to say, right? You have it both ways, right?
Another one because it just feels like that. This is DeMeco Ryans' team. This team was so good. They got one of the best receiving trios in the league. That looked like the Vikings might be. You know what? The Vikings. We might need to. They better than him without Kirk Cousins. Are we saying that? Are we saying that now? Like it's a good coach. It's a good coach, man. It's another good coaching job figuring out the best of Sam Darnold, finding the best pieces, the offensive coordinator putting the offense together. I got to say that, but no, my biggest loser out of all of them is the Jaguars. I just feel like I'm a little bit disappointed. Like that's a little crazy.
This is
It's a little crazy, man. They don't know how to find themselves up to pay. It's a lot of money you paid that man. It's a lot of money you paid this man. So, but Justin Fields, all of a sudden, when you see how I think Peterson ain't gonna be down for long, but you know, a good coach figures it out.
Yep. Bo, you were about to say something?
Yeah, this is the Jaguar recruiting right here.
Yeah. I said this before. I'll say it again. I'm not a huge fan of Trevor Lawrence. I always call him Bo Callahan. If you guys seen Draft Day, you'll understand why. But I've never been a fan of Trevor Lawrence. So just for that alone, that's my only loser, Trevor Lawrence.
Mitch, did we miss on the conversation a couple weeks ago? Should we have had the Jaguars in that conversation on the worst team in the league?
They look like they are the worst team.
They are. The Panthers won. They are. They're the worst team in the league right now.
That's confusing. Like I'm kind of like, what is going? It's a slump, man.
Well, I mean, think of all the upsets. Think of all the upsets.
That comment was right. You can't mess with a terrible towel. Bad things happen to your team when you do that. The Jaguars haven't won since.
Oh God. Wait, Bo, you were about to say something or no?
Oh yeah, I was just saying their recruiting is like Rick Moranis and Little Giants. Do you like football?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to play football? No. Perfect. You can be on the team.
Yeah, they need a ice box. They need ice box.
I see one of the. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. I see one of the people, one of the guests, out there saying the Broncos. One of the followers saying the Broncos. Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of expectation is coming. Just be patient, Broncos. Bo Nix, y'all just got a quarterback. Quarterback. Be patient. Bo Nix has always been good, man. He is. I knew he was going to be this good, but just be patient.
One of the winners. That comment came up during the winners.
That was during the winners, dude.
Yeah.
But
that was during the winners. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
That was the winners. Yeah. All right, Nikki, who are your losers for this week?
While we're still on the subject, let's spring right into it. The Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, how in God's name are you this awful? I mean, we knew Peterson was flawed, especially after the collapse last year, but this right here,
don't say flawed. Don't say flawed, man. Don't say flawed.
To the Browns, and then this way against the Bills, not even putting up a fight. Like, holy smokes. It's awful. And Trevor Lawrence, bro, he looks like, he's bust at this point. And then, because if you look at his stats are similar to Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
But now people are finally starting to see the parallels. And Peterson, he's on the hot seat at this point. How much longer is he going to have? Seriously. You got to ask yourself.
He just made the playoff. He just made playoffs. He just made the playoffs, my man. You got to give him. That was last year. He made the playoffs.
Was 2 years ago.
So to be fair, Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl and was fired 2 years later.
You got to calm down.
Hey, we got another Super Bowl a couple years later. We got one.
You got to calm down. But you got Doug Peterson is one of the. He's a good coach. And you got a young quarterback, but they look bad. They definitely look like puzzled. You're puzzled, but they got time. They got a young team, and I'm gonna give Doug Pete. Doug Pete's a good coach. He's a good coach.
All right,
so Lawrence, it's year 4. It's like, okay, I understand. At this point, there should be some improvement, but it looks like his ceiling so far was that second half of his second season.
Yeah, Doug Peterson actually is in some trouble because if you look at the way they finished last year, right? They had a good start to the season. I think they were like 9-3, something like that. And then they lost all but one game to miss the playoffs. And then now they've started 0-3, potentially going 0-4 this week. So, I mean, this is you're looking at the last 7-8 games going like, 1-7, 1-8. I mean, that's not great. That is the kind of record that the guy fired.
All right, and
the record last year. What was this team's record last year?
9-8.
Yeah, but they lost like six of the last 7 games.
Second in division. Yeah, everybody knows for sure they're 9-8, and they were second in division. But everybody knows on this site, what y'all saying is real, right? But they have a young quarterback, and this organization is not going to try to. This is in Philly. The organization is not going to rush them out of the city off the 0-3. They're not even going to flex on that. They're not even that type of fan base. And this organization is invested in Peterson. So he definitely on a hot seat, but he definitely need to fix something, man. Like, you just paid this guy a lot of money. The Chargers also, to me, are disappointing so many years. You're talking about disappointing. That organization is disappointing. Like, they've had talent, and they have not decided to, I guess. Yeah, I guess they just one of those teams that I guess they just can't get it together, the Chargers. But Jaguars are going to have time. And I mean, the crazy part, the first step was getting the contract. You know, that's the first step all the time. For signing your best player. Now they got to get the chemistry together, and it's not working right now. Now, next year, if this is going on, 9-8 happened. Remember, 9-8 happened. You said it was playoff last year. Okay, that was the playoff the year before that. That's not a time to stop.
How you end up at 9-8 matters, though, because when we were talking about Philly's coach being in hot water, it wasn't because of how they got to the playoffs. It was how they ended the season. You know, they start 10-1 last year. You're like, okay, here we go, and then they lose.
Thanks for mentioning that. That's just perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know, I figured I'd help out.
But that's two different fan bases. Two different. Philadelphia for one. Philadelphia was in the Super Bowl. Philadelphia was in the Super Bowl, and this is Philadelphia. Now 9-8 Jacksonville organization think that's an up. That's up. 9-8 is up for them, and no matter how it happened, that's up for them.
They were in the.
They like it because now they're in the talks.
They were in the playoffs prior to that,
right? But now they're being talked about. Yes, right. So they're being talked about. Them being talked about right now. 9-8. That's big for them.
But you started off.
Yeah, but that's big for them.
Went from like a
this is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Magical run and made the playoffs.
How you get to 9-8 matters. If you were winning a couple and then losing and you win 9-8, that's one thing. If you are on a pace to have a 12 win and you just fall apart, 9-8 feels different. Now the record's the same. You can look back on it and be like, 9-8.
We're analysts. We're going to say that. We're analysts. We can say that. But when it comes to the organization, Jacksonville, they're not going to flinch. They're not going to flinch like he's time to go. No, they're not going to flinch. They love this time right now because they weren't even in the playoffs. So they love these 2 years. So they're going to let him go ahead, iron it out, and they're going to like this is not like Nick Sirianni as being a winning coach. He's on the hot seat because of what stuff happened last year. No, that's the Eagles and the Jaguars are two different organizations. Everybody's having an uproar. There's a Jalen Hurts.
They brought Peterson in to win, not to go 9-8. They spent they spent $250 million on a quarterback. They didn't do that to be 9-8.
But I understand, but you're an analyst
because you went from being the worst
you're an analyst
making the playoffs. That's progress for year one, but then for year two to go the opposite, start hot and collapse. It's like, okay, this doesn't feel as satisfying as last year because last year we went from bottom of the house to making the playoffs and winning a game.
Yeah, they're not going to. Wait, where's mine at? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good, dude.
Okay. I didn't see the camera. Okay. Yeah, but that's not. I keep on telling y'all what y'all saying is everything's right. Everything's to complain about it, but we're analysts. Jacksonville's not going to take it like that. They have Doug Peterson. They were in the playoffs 2 years. This organization isn't used to that. They got their franchise guy. They're going to keep riding this out. Now, next year, if this starts like this and they're doing this, now you can start talking hot seat. But this is not when this organization starts talking hot seat. You know, this is different from Philly. Philly had the unbelievable expectations after 2022. We're a different franchise. People expect more. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown. Now you have Saquon. There's always more pressure in Philly, even when they're not the winning team, but we're used to winning. So this is a little different. That's like the Chargers being like that, and all of a sudden, if they did that type of organization, that nobody would complain. They barely come to the games. The Eagles out came their game. Remember that? The Eagles was at their home games more than they was. So there's certain organizations that are just no. It's not like that. The Eagles. If the Eagles were doing this right now after having a good season last year, it started being 9-8. You'd be hearing some talks, just some talks about hot seat. I mean, can he improve the team? But it's 2 years. It's 2 years.
Leader, I got a quick question for you, man. At what point do you start panicking? Is it 0-4? Is it 0-5? What if they go 0-6? Is that when we start panicking?
Well, you're panicking now, but you're talking hot seat for the coach.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to happen. But panicking, you panic when you lose.
Yeah.
You panic when you lose. Period. You know, but a hot seat for Doug Peterson to get up out of there and in Jacksonville. And then what did they do though? These years is improved. Like going to the playoffs 2 years ago. Wow. I promise I didn't think that team was doing that with Trevor Lawrence. I did not think that was happening. Then they get 9-8, they go down. Well, they gave their quarterback an extension after 9-8. That's what they did. So you have to understand that they're looking about trying to grow and okay, things are bad now. How do we fix them? Their whole step. They're not even talking about. They might be talking about new offensive coordinator before they talk about new coach, or new defensive coordinator before they talk about new coach. Or all of a sudden, Trevor Lawrence is not playing good, but they're not thinking like, oh, you know what? Let's do the Bryce Young and trade him. Let's trade him.
So they went 1-5 to end the year, right? With this exact team, with this coaching staff, all of that. We're starting 0-3. So going 1-8 doesn't make you think that they're a little bit worried at the top.
That's just not how this football. That's not how football runs in terms of that, because they're expected.
We watch coaches get fired all the time. What are you talking about?
To be 9-8, that's not gonna like make this type of team. No, it's not. Jacksonville's talking about growing. They're seeing 0-3 and figuring out ways to fix it. But besides the coach, that's all planted. They're a franchise player, their coach. That's all planted. They want to figure out ways to fix it. Next year, if they can't fix what's going on next year, then you could talk about hot seat. But they're not. It's just not going to happen. We're talking about coaches. Let's give me a couple that had the success that Peterson has had the last 3 years. And who's got fired? Like, this is how football is. Like, it's a little different. You know, when you made the playoffs, now you go to 9-8. Because Peter, Sirianni started 9-8. Then here comes the playoffs. Then here we go at 11-6. But the downgrade was the 1-5, but they was 10-1. But this is the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is now like a face of the league type guy. Seriously, he is. Then you get, then Howie Roseman goes up. Everybody was down, right? 1-5. But when Howie Roseman goes in the offseason and start getting people, a lot of that's forgotten. It just now, but they still were 11-6. At the end of the day, when you think about 1-5, you still gotta say, well, they finished 11-6. So let's talk about them going up back to what they was. It's the same thing with Jacksonville. It's a little different. Like
really quick. So this is this remaining schedule for the Jaguars right now. What is the record right now? What is it?
0-3.
0-3. Okay, so week 4 they got the Texans. Week 5 they got the Colts.
That's a win, probably.
Week 6 the Bears. I think that's a win. They can win that.
Winnable.
Week 7 the Patriots. I think that's a win. Packers 8, that's a loss.
Yep.
That's a loss. Week 9, Eagles, that's a loss.
Yep.
Thank you, Giants. But week 10, Vikings, that's a loss.
Yep.
Week 11, Detroit.
Loss.
Like a loss.
12 for Dubai. Week 13, Texans.
Yeah, that's looking like a loss.
Yeah, I mean they probably lose to him both times. Yeah.
And then
Oh,
Titans
he's gone.
no, his connection went out.
Yeah.
His connection went out. He'll be back.
No, I know.
But Titans week 14.
All right.
That could be a win. Jets,
Kinda
that's
get
a
the
loss.
point. It's
See,
not
there he
looking
is.
favorable though.
And
Yeah,
Raiders,
They could be a 5-win team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
they
mean,
could
yes.
definitely can.
That's definitely not progress.
no, that's why I was finding it hilarious that he was excited about 9-8. Like they fell off hard. They were
Right.
8-3. To go 9-8 is terrible.
Right. But let's
You know what?
move on. We still got 2 more losers to get to for me.
No, we don't.
I was talking about the Jags, and the other ones are the Raiders.
Oh.
Let's just quick. The other ones are the Raiders for losing embarrassing fashion to the Panthers, and the Browns. If you have a better quarterback, you win that game. So that's the quick version of my other 2 losers.
Right. So really quick before we get into the first actual topic, make sure you guys tune in on Saturday. Hold on, I got it. Make sure you tune in on Saturday for the WWE Bad Blood Watch Along. Follow us on Spotify at the Hardcore Sports Network podcast. And Nikki Stees will be hosting week 5 of the Pick'ems on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So,
Sir.
yep, leader's having trouble getting in, so
Alright.
he'll be back. As someone who lives in Jacksonville, if they are under 500, Jaguars are clean house, including Peterson and GM. Trust me. Okay. But, let's get on with it. Andy Dalton carries the Panthers to victory. Bryce Young officially done in Carolina. We're gonna start off. You know what? Let's start off with Bo on this one. We'll go around.
You got to remember the Panthers gave up a ton to go get this kid, right?
Yeah.
And so they're not going to give up on him quite that easy. At the same time, what you were seeing on tape wasn't good. They could see he was, more or less above his skis here. So, I mean, they let Dalton come in. Realistically, he should have had a year with a clipboard. Last year was kind of a weird year. He gets hurt, right? They didn't really do much to help that offensive line out. And so do I think he's done there? No. Do I think that organization is a dumpster fire and actually hurt this kid? No question. So, I mean, I don't know how successful you were really thinking a rookie was going to be when you're joining an organization that's had 6 coaches in the last 3 years. You got your owner throwing drinks at opposing fans. Like there's so much just it's like a bad sitcom is how that team is run. So I'm going to go with, do I think he's done there? No. Just because of how much they gave up to get him. But do I think we've seen the last of him this year? I mean,
Bo?
Bo?
Oh, we lost him. All right, James.
I'm going to agree with Bo on this one in a lot of this aspect, but I think it's going to be very difficult to go back to him at this point. I think the biggest problem is a lack of confidence now. The kid's got ability. He's got accuracy. His best assets have always been accuracy and intelligence, being able to know where to throw the ball and get the ball there on time. He never had the strongest arm in the world. He was never the greatest athlete in the world. He did it in a traditional pocket quarterback type stance. And if he's lost his mojo and his confidence, it's tough to get that back without playing. And I don't see putting him back on the field if Andy Dalton keeps up what Andy's doing, because you do want to win games, and what you had with him on the field was not enough to win games. So I feel like the only way he gets back on the field right now is if Andy really starts point pounding people and going up by 20, 30 points, and it's the fourth quarter and the game's over. Then I start inserting him in some garbage time, almost like a preseason game, and try to get him a drive here or a drive there to build his confidence back up, hoping that you can get him back to what he was as a college athlete. But right now, how do you get the confidence back on a guy that has none?
Right. Leader, are you with us? There you are. Leader, you good, bro?
You might be muted.
I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
We can't hear.
All right,
Leader,
Nikki.
leader, we got no noise.
Yeah, he's not muted though, so I'm not sure what he's got going on.
I don't know. We're gonna go on Nikki.
I mean, at this point, if you're going off what James said, a guy with no confidence, how can you trust a quarterback with no confidence in the same system that led to their confidence being shattered? I don't see how that's a recipe for success at all. And at this point, the Panthers are such a dysfunctional organization. The only way you have a shot at being competitive even is to have a veteran quarterback in there. And that's what we saw last week with Andy Dalton. You have a veteran, and that's the only way you have a shot. That's it. And you clearly saw last week, I was like, all right, they at least were competitive against the Raiders, though, who are a team with a lot of flaws themselves. But they're still not going to the playoffs. This team is still severely flawed. They're only going to win a handful of games and be competitive in some of their losses at best with Andy Dalton. And there's a possibility that he could get injured and you're forced to go back to Bryce. And at this point, you're going back to a confident shattered Bryce. If that scenario plays out, it's not looking good at all for the Panthers. And for Bryce, he's definitely done, at least with the Panthers. I mean, he could go somewhere else possibly, but the odds of him making a turnaround with his confidence shot are a long shot, so to say. So,
All right.
Who we
Leader,
talking
you
about
with-
making a turnaround? Who's making
Bryce
it? Can you hear
Young.
me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh,
Bryce Young. Is he officially done in Carolina? Is he officially done?
I don't think, to be truthful, I mean, he's done in Carolina. Who knows what they're thinking? Now, that's what you don't. I mean, for them to take him out and not let him go through the bumps and bruises, you don't know what they're doing. You haven't heard any trade. Them putting him on a trade block. Andy Dalton is definitely not the answer long term. But I think they should keep Bryce Young. I think if I'm thinking like a GM, you keep this guy. You know what you traded? Do you know what you did? You got to at least try another year for him to get good. I mean, you just got this guy. This is his second year. It'd be crazy to do that. Like what a lot of these organizations, that's what I was talking about back to the Jacksonville. I know y'all think Jacksonville is, but organizations are taking time with their young quarterbacks. This is how it is. No matter what we think, this is what they do. Even when Carson Wentz had all the stuff said in the locker room, they gave another chance. This is what they invested in him. So this is what it is. I think, but we don't know what they're going to do. Carolina is not a good run organization. They let Frank Reich go. I mean, they're probably just one of those bad organizations. Like, it just looks like that. I hope Chicago gets it together. It's bad right now. I mean, Carolina is the one you didn't know how to figure out. I thought it was Arizona, but they figured it out.
Yeah, they got it. They got
Carolina. I don't know what to say about Carolina. I don't know what they're going to do. What's up with Miles Sanders? You don't hear they spend money on him. He went over there. He was down. Frank Reich was supposed to be. He just came from a Super Bowl. He went over there. He couldn't. It didn't work out. Now he's gone, and the coach that drafted Bryce Young is not there anymore. So it could end up like a Jahan Dotson situation. The coach that drafted Jahan was gone, and now we got Dotson, which is good. I think he's gonna have a good game. So I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done.
You know what was the best move that Carolina ever made? Letting Christian McCaffrey go. I'm serious, because that guy was going nowhere. Now he's on the 49ers. They're one of the best teams in the league right now. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost. Haha. But yeah, now they're just all injured. But that was the best move that Carolina's ever made. Yeah. Yeah. For me, Bryce Young is just like, it is what it is. Will I see him play again this year?
I don't know.
Probably later on. Not right now. Not when Andy Dalton or Red Rockets on fire right now. So, yeah. Now, leader, you didn't bring up the Chicago Bears. Did the Bears draft the wrong quarterback?
What do you? We go back to the same thing about young quarterbacks, and back in the day, they used to. You're putting this man in a situation immediately.
Yeah.
Justin Fields was drafted high. What happened to him? Now he's 3-0 in Pittsburgh. I just feel like Caleb Williams is still a talent. Still a talent. I mean, this is the rookie year. I don't think they drafted the wrong quarterback. I just think they need to get together as with the coaching staff. I mean, how many coaches have they had? How many offensive coordinators? And this hasn't worked out. You got 3 wide receivers. If you look at the offense and how they play, it don't look like they know what they want to do. They got a guy that can throw. What do you do? But this is a young quarterback. You take your time. I don't think they drafted the wrong quarterback. Caleb is Caleb, man. Caleb is that guy.
He just needs a pocketbook and nail polish, and he's good. James.
I definitely don't think that they drafted the wrong quarterback because I don't know who's going to succeed in that offense right now. One of the big things that successful organizations do, and a lot of you guys as Eagles fans know this, you build up front first. You got to get that good, solid offensive line. You got to get some talented skill position guys, and then get your quarterback. If you get your quarterback and you have a crap offensive line, what do you expect, man? You could put anybody out there, and they're not going to look good. So I don't think this is as much of a Caleb Williams issue as it is foundationally. They just didn't build enough of a supporting cast around him yet. And I don't think this is even a Carolina situation where you can insert a veteran quarterback and it's going to magically look better. It's not even that because your offensive line is just falling apart every week. So you need to be able to protect the quarterback. Doesn't matter how mobile he is or how immobile he is. It doesn't matter how experienced he is. You're just going to get the guy hurt and you're going to get him frazzled on every play. And if they don't figure it out, you're going to start messing with his confidence. You don't want to do that because this kid's got all the ability in the world. Way too early to give up on Caleb Williams. But they really got to figure out this offensive line. If they try to come back next year with the same offensive line without investing in free agency or in the draft, it's not going to look any better. So that's my big take on that.
All right. Bo.
Guys, is a problem. You know, it's going to be
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, okay. You got me now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's one of the things that Justin Fields had a problem with there too, is the offensive line wasn't there. That being said, the way that they call plays, Jaden Daniels would probably actually fit into this system fairly well, right? If they would have drafted him instead, just because of the way that they're trying to call plays.
They'd have killed Jaden. They would have killed Jaden. They'd have killed that. Justin can run just as fast as Jaden, man. Like they would have killed. Bless you. They would have killed. I mean, man, do you see how long the quarterback has to throw in this offense the last couple of years?
No, you're missing what I'm saying. I didn't say he was going to have more success. I'm saying the way that they call plays would have been better suited for the way that Jaden Daniels plays. So do I think he would have had more success than Caleb Williams? No, I don't, because that offensive line is a wreck. What I'm talking about is the play calling that they do fits more.
You said the better fit. You said you'd be the better fit. Oh.
No, I'm saying for the way they call plays, for the way that their offensive coordinator calls plays, it still set more than what it does for him. So I'm not saying he's a better Caleb Williams. I'm not saying he would have to Caleb Williams.
Okay. For me, dude, Jaden Daniels killed. Like, he had one of the best games of the year. And to do it in that kind of spotlight, props to him. Even though I can't stand the Commanders left hand up. I cannot stand him. But
he's good. I just don't like him in NFC East. He's good, man. Jaden.
Yeah. I just don't want, like, we're gonna have to play with them. We're gonna have to play against them like 2 times for like 10 or 15 years. So, yeah. All right. So the last part of the show, we're gonna get right to the pick'ems. So we're gonna make our predictions for the games this week. Let me give me a second here. All right. Give me 1 second. We're gonna start off with Bo and go up. So who you got, Bo, for the Saints and the Falcons?
Man, this is a tough one because
Yeah, it is.
This one could go either way. I do like the Saints here just because I like their defense a little bit better. But what we saw out of the Falcons this last week makes you think they can start to play football now. And some of that is, you had Kirk Cousins with no preseason. And so you kind of see that team starting to gel. But I'm going to go with the Saints here, even though it's kind of a coin flip.
James?
I'm going Saints too. I'm a little concerned about that Falcons offensive line. They're a little banged up right now. And you have got to be able to protect a guy like Kirk Cousins. Whatever mobility he had when he was younger is definitely not there right now. But you can't expect it to be coming off of an Achilles injury like that and not being a spring chicken anymore. So I'm going Saints on this one.
All right, leader.
I'm going Falcons. You know what? The Saints are coming off a loss. They got a good offense. They got a good team. But man, Bijan and you got Pitts and London. I just feel like this team, they got a solid defense. I think this is the one they pull out and be 2-2 and 2 in a row for the Saints. I think it's the Falcons.
All right. This is where I'm going with the Saints because Kamara is still running away from prison. So if he can still run away from prison here, I'm telling you, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So I'm going with the Saints. And back to me, the Rams-Bears. All right. Do I go with the nail polish quarterback or with the injured deplete Rams?
Nail polish.
I'm going with that guy running back, Kieran Williams, I think his name is, from the Rams. He's been killing it so far. He's been like top 5, top 10 running backs right now in the league. So I'm going to go with the Rams, and not just because I have him in my fantasy team. So, yeah. London. I mean, not London. Leader, who you got?
You know what? I'm going to go Rams, but man, Bears, they haven't got their win yet, and Khalid ain't did it, but I go with Rams because quarterback's better, receivers. I think they'll win.
All right. James, who you got?
This is not going to be a game on my must-watch TV, I'll tell you that. But
I'm right there
I'll
with
go
you.
Rams on this one as well. I don't feel strongly about either team right now.
All right. Bo.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears here, actually. And the biggest reason for that is you have no Kupp and no Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
You basically are giving Stafford his third best option as a number one. That Bears defense is good. And whether you think the Bears can score on offense or not, Stafford is going to be under duress all day. So I'm going to take the Bears here.
Yeah. And shout out to TJ Edwards on the Chicago Bears. Man, I miss him on the Eagles right now. I miss him on the Eagles. All right, Bo, who you got?
I got the Vikings here. I mean, you're still dealing with a backup quarterback for Green Bay. And even if it was Love coming back, it would have been his first game back after, being off for a few weeks. So I'm going to go Minnesota. That defense is playing a lot better than it was. And, I like Darnold in this offense. I mean, he's been incredibly accurate. So I'll take Minnesota on the road.
All right, James.
My apologies to Sam Darnold and the Sam Darnold fans. I've been talking. He's been showing me that I'm wrong. So I'll give him credit until he starts looking like early career New York Jets Sam Darnold. I'm going to start saying that he's the real deal right now. So let's go Vikings in this one. I think the Packers, even though they're getting Jordan Love back, are a little beat up right now.
All right, leader, who you got?
The Packers. I just think the Packers put some respect on their name. They're a good team, good coach team. I put some respect on anything. The Packers, even though Minnesota's riding high, this is the time I think they take their first loss.
All right, and for me, I am going with the Vikings here. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I have Jordan Love in both of my leagues. Is he playing? So he is playing. I don't know if I should start him or not, but that's for me to decide in an hour. But all right, next up, Here we go. Who's the 17% that picked the Colts? I'm going with Steelers. That's all I got to say. Leader.
The Steelers, yeah, Fields, man, I remember he was number one in the country as a high school quarterback. He committed to Penn State and, was Georgia. And I just think it might be some trouble for Russell Wilson, man. I'm just saying. I mean, I think they're going to win this, no doubt. 4-0.
All right. James?
Well, I'm not going to go against you guys. Why would I? I think Pittsburgh favorite on this. A little bit of a homer, I won't lie. But I think that Pittsburgh's just kind of got them overmatched a little bit in this one. This is the worst run defense in the league versus a pretty good rushing offense. And the secondary for the Colts is really banged up right now. So that's going to be a big issue for them. If those second and third wide receivers can step up like we saw Calvin Austin, the third step up last week, Pittsburgh might win by double digits today. So no surprise, going all Steelers.
All right, Bo?
Yeah, I'm going Steelers also. That's no joke. The Colts haven't shown an ability to be consistent at all. So, yeah, I'm going Steelers here.
TJ Watt is a woo, man.
Right back at you, Bo. Who's the 7% that picked the Broncos?
Yeah, I'm not picking with them. I got the Jets here. That defense is fantastic, and, the offense is finally starting to click.
James?
Easy decision. I'm Jets on this, too. As long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, this is a no-brainer.
All right,
yeah,
Leader?
I'm all for the Jets. I'm all for the Jets. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, and I like the way Garrett Wilson's playing. I like that combination. Yeah.
All right. So for me, anything can happen at MetLife. So I'm still going with the Jets. Anything can happen over there. I'm still going with the Jets. A good friend of mine, he's a diehard Jets fan. So I don't want one of those rant texts that I get whenever they lose. So I don't want that. I'm giving the Jets. All right. Eagles, Bucks. We're missing Lane Johnson. We're missing A.J. Brown. We're missing Devontae Smith. We're missing some other players. I'm still going with the Eagles, man. I'm still going with the Eagles here. Jalen Carter, you got to carry us on defense. And Jalen Hurts, please stay in the pocket for more than 5 seconds. That's all I ask. All right, Leader, who you got?
Well, in this, the Eagles, the reason why the Eagles, I mean, they just got the more talented team. No matter if it's no A.J. Brown or Devontae, people don't. John Johnson running the 4-4. You got Paris Campbell running 4-3 coming out. I mean, these are fast receivers. You got a 6'7" Johnny Wilson at your third receiver who ran a 4-5. I mean, these guys, you still got Dallas Goedert. You still got Kellen Moore as your offensive coordinator. You still got Saquon Barkley. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell can catch out. They can do so many schemes now. It's a lot more to their offense that I don't think Tampa Bay will figure out. Much more tougher defense, aggressive defense than they played Tampa Bay last time. They can tackle. They can actually tackle. So this team, I think they take out Tampa Bay. I think they take them out. I think it's a Jahan Dotson game. This is the Jahan Dotson game.
Mm-hmm. All right. James, who you got?
As much as I've had fun cheering for Baker Mayfield, I do not believe Tampa Bay has enough to overcome the Eagles, especially after watching what Jalen Carter did to that Saints offensive line last week. My Lord, that's one of the most dominant performances I've seen in a while. And then to see what Dallas Goedert did on the offense, you're a little bit less concerned about those wide receivers missing the game when you have a talented tight end like that.
Yep. Bo, who you got?
Bully.
I got
a bully.
I got the Eagles here. Again, anybody that's seen me knows that I'm not a Baker believer. That guy is wildly inconsistent, and when he goes up against these good teams, that's where some of that comes out. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going with the Eagles here.
All right, and right back at you. Oh my God.
This is the battle of the bottom. I mean, man,
This is the tank bowl. This is the tank bowl.
It's
Dalton comes back. Dalton comes back to Cincinnati, huh?
Bo, we lost you.
Bo, you're out of there.
I'm
Right.
kind of with the signal issue this morning.
Who you got? You were breaking up.
Man, having some struggles over here for sure. I'm going to go with the Bengals to
That's all.
get their first win. I don't believe that the Panthers are good. So now that being said, the Bengals don't play defense, so there's going to be plenty of opportunity for Dalton. But I think the Bengals get their first win.
All right, James.
I think if Andy Dalton threw for 320 yards last week, he'll throw for 400 this week. So the Red Rifle going to have a monster game, in my opinion. He's as motivated as it gets. Andy Dalton revenge game, Carolina Panthers.
Rifle.
Do I go with the
Rifle.
Cody Rhodes wannabe and Joe Burrow, or do I go with the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton? I'm going with the Bengals. I'm
You
sorry.
said the
I'm going with the Bengals. There's no way I can go with the Panthers. There's not. And right back at me. Jacksonville or Texans? Who's the 5% to pick Jacksonville? You know what? I think I will not join them. I'm going with the Texans. Leader, who you got?
This game, man, this one of them any given. It's like that Colts game. Like they could win that one too, even though I didn't pick the Colts. But man, and Houston, Texas been inconsistent. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Okay. All right.
They gotta win. They gotta get their first win, man. I mean, this is NFL, my man. So gotta get their first win.
James, who you got?
Leader's right. Jacksonville needs that win in the worst way, but I don't think it's coming this week. I'm going Houston.
All right. Bo.
Yeah, they definitely need a win, but it's not coming against the Texans, especially after the way the Texans played last week. They're going to be coming out to right the ship a little bit. Jags fall to 0-4.
All right, and right back at you. Commanders, Cardinals.
I got Arizona.
Ooh.
I like what they're doing. They got a young team. They're going to be, both these teams are actually very similar in the way that they are young teams. They're scrappy. They're going to steal some wins, but I think Arizona gets this one at home.
All right, James.
I'm actually in the same boat on this one. Washington looked good last week, but the biggest issue they had was slowing down that Cincinnati passing game. Maserati Marv might have a big game today, so look for Arizona to win this.
All right, leader.
Is Kyler Murray playing?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Arizona.
I'm going with Arizona as well. Commanders, we need you to lose. Here we go. The 49ers are depleted. The Patriots stink. So I'm going with the Niners.
All right, Patriot
Leader.
fans. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Who you got, leader?
49ers, man. I mean, there's not even an explanation right now.
All right.
I know what I'm not doing at 4:05, and that's watching this game. I think an easy one tonight.
All right. Bo.
Yeah, this is a game you can check out on Red Zone. All 20 times they pop up. It's this one. I'm gonna go Niners, even though they are hurt everywhere. The Patriots just don't do anything on offense, right? And they're not going to be able to run the way they did, a couple of times early in this year. So Patriots.
Browns, Raiders, Bo.
It's a tie. No, I'm sorry.
Bo, who you got? Did we lose you?
I'm here. You got me?
Okay, who you?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go Browns. This is one. I mean, the percentage is right? Like you just flip a coin.
Right.
If I remember right, Vegas's line on it was like 1 point or something. Like it is terrible. So I'm going to go the Browns on the road here, but I don't feel confident about it.
All right, James.
I'm kind of in a similar boat here. I don't see a confident win for either team. I think it'll probably be close. I'll pick with my heart and say Raiders on this one.
Leader.
I'm gonna go with the Browns. I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson, their quarterback. He gotta. I mean, you gotta have some motivation. I mean, a lot of people looking at how you've been playing. Browns got a better defense. I'm going with the Browns.
Hopefully you got a massage before the game. Make sure you feel loose.
Right.
That is why I got the Raiders. That is why I got the Raiders.
Stop it.
I'm just gonna wait. Did the Raiders lose to the Panthers last week, or was that 2 weeks ago?
Whenever week it was.
They lost to the Panthers no matter what. So
what? Oh my God!
I'm going to, and then
he's right.
Here we go. I'm going with the Chiefs. The refs are going to give them a pass again, so I'm going with the Chiefs. Leader.
The refs going to give who? The Chiefs a pass?
Yeah, they're going to not call like a pass interference or something.
Well, I'm definitely not. Is this the week I picked they lost? Not against the Chargers. Chargers, I just don't think Jim Harbaugh is going to pull that off against Pat Mahomes and what he got. So I think it's the Chiefs, man.
James.
Chargers a little bit beat up this week. Lost both their starting offensive tackles last week versus the Steelers. They just couldn't handle their matchups there. That was unfortunate for them. I think the Chiefs are going to win this pretty handily. Herbert on one ankle and poor blocking is going to be a real nasty.
Jones is going to have a field day.
Yeah.
He's going to have a field day, man.
Yeah.
And then we got Chad coming in here saying Swifties. So, okay, James, right back at you.
Bills versus Ravens. This is an easy decision for me. The Bills, against all odds, with injuries everywhere and in areas of their roster that don't really look that impressive, are still putting up monster performances against everyone. I don't think the Ravens are the team that slows them down, so I'm all Bills on this one.
Right. Leader.
Lamar Jackson. I just think him and Derek, it's time for them to go. You got to make a run sometimes. It's a talented team. So I just don't think the Bills are looking great. There's no doubt. I mean, the most impressive team all year because what they lost and how good they're doing. But I think Lamar Jackson goes ahead and gets that 2-2.
Yeah. So for me, the Ravens have to keep their body 100% inbounds. So I don't know if they can do that. I am going with Buffalo. And Monday night game. Remember, we got 2 Monday night games this week again. So Titans and the Dolphins is Tyreek Hill running away from the police. I'm going with that one. Going with Miami.
Y'all crazy.
All right, leader.
Is it Will Levi or will it be
Will Levis?
Will Levis, you mean?
Yeah, that's my guy, my bad. I've been seeing Levi since he was in high school and picked up by Penn State. I've been saying that the whole time. Okay, is Tua back?
No.
It's over. I think that Tennessee gets a win.
James.
I've been saying this for a few weeks. As much as I enjoyed Will Levis at Penn State, I don't have any faith in his accuracy issues that he's having right now, and some of those decisions are just a train wreck.
Yeah.
So I'll go Dolphins, even though the backup quarterback position might not be a lot better than the Titans.
And then, oh, come on. Bo left right before his Seattle Seahawks.
I know, right? This is where I wanted Bo's input on this too.
All right, James, who you got here, man?
I would have loved to have learned something from Bo about this before making my decision, but I'll just go with the favorites and take the Lions on this.
All right, leader.
This is a good game right here.
This could be the game of the week, low key.
Yeah.
I'm a little man. What do I go with Detroit because I believe in Detroit's team. I think they got a good team, regardless of a good coach. But I mean, man, Seattle is Seattle. They coach as they coach, and you know he just like Sam Darnold's doing. That's what he did with Geno Smith. So I'm gonna go with Detroit though. I'm gonna go with Detroit. Jared Goff, good running back, good receivers. I'm gonna go with Detroit.
All right. Hawks, best winning percentage in the league, 13-5 against the Lions all time, won last 6 in a row.
Who are the Hawks? Who are the Hawks?
Seahawks.
Oh,
Chad said Lions. Sorry, Bo. I am going with Detroit as well. Yeah, I think Jared Goff is going to have a good game. So with that being said, guys, that concludes the Sunday morning show for this week. Make sure you tune in next week for the same show, same time. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate Leader, James, Bo, Nikki for all popping in talking football. We'll catch you all next week. Remember, WWE Raw Bad Blood Watch Along this Saturday at 5:50. Follow us on Spotify. And the Pick'ems this Wednesday. Nikki Thies will be the host of this week again. With that being said, we'll catch you all later. Peace, guys.